The Code 7 Podcast Network, and we are about to get started with Open Mic Live. But as always, a word from our sponsor.
At InDigital, we know that public safety professionals hold themselves to a high standard. In fact, standard doesn't do it justice. In over 25 years working alongside you, carrying millions of calls over our IP networks, your dedication has inspired us. That's why our ESINet goes beyond industry standards, not only i3 compliant, but designed to adapt to future development for a network you can count on when it matters most. Learn more at indigital.net.
August 24th, 2016, the I Am 901 movement is born. One of my personal stories set the tone for this movement. What started out as a way to raise awareness for the reclassification issue for dispatchers quickly turned into peer support. 911 professionals from all over the world were sharing their stories. On Facebook alone, at that time, the engagements were over 34 million. It spawned a peer support session at conferences called Imagine Listening, where dispatchers shared their stories out loud or on paper. For years, I have been asked if this would ever become a book, coming June 2023.
And available now for pre-order on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
From Titletown Publishing, Imagine Listening. Your worst day is our everyday. If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. And this as well. Woo! Hello, welcome. This is Ricardo of the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we're about to get started here with Open Mic Live. As always, this is supported and sponsored by InDigital, a leader next-gen course services, and a big shout out to subscribers of the podcast. I wouldn't be able to do what I do if it wasn't for all of you, especially those who are watching, listening, sharing, supporting, everything. Thank you so very much, more than you know. I also have an on-air sign over here. Those over here on TikTok, you can't see it, but oh, there it is. Boom. Okay. So super cheap. This is like $20 on Amazon. I don't know why I didn't buy one of these before, but I did have one a long time ago that a buddy of mine actually created. It was 3D printed, super cool, and it broke. Well, because I broke it when I was moving offices and stuff. Yeah, it was an accident. But so now at conferences, when I'm doing something live, I'll have that. I'll have the on air sign there so that people know when they're walking up that we are actually in fact on air. But it's still fun though when people come up and they're talking either way, because then they'll say, "Wait a minute, are you guys live right now?" And we'll say, "Yeah, we're live," or "Yeah, we're recording," and they're like, and then I have to be like, no, it's completely fine, which it is. I always find it fun. It gives more of that feeling that you're there. So I love it. It's a lot of fun. So I have a guest today, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to be telling some stories. We're going to be listening to some audio from episode 491 because 491 went out this week, and that was the open mic portion of the Imagine Listening session that I did at the Texas conference, and that was both open mic spots. And we're going to be playing some audio from that and discussing it and everything. So that is going to be fun. And so without further ado, my guest for tonight, everyone, welcome her to the show. My homie, my good friend, and my assistant producer of the podcast, Dawn, the DDPQ Shumway.
It's good when you say it like that.
What? Oh, really?
Yeah, look at this.
Look at this. So those over on TikTok here, you can't see this, but Dawn, well, actually you did in the beginning a little bit. Dawn has this big ass rabbit sitting next to her. I don't know if it's real or not. It looks like you could.
It is real. Look at it.
Chocolate.
It looks what?
Like you can eat it. It's a chocolate bunny.
No. This is not for food.
Okay, what is the bunny's name?
EB.
Like from the movie?
Yeah, exactly. EB.
EB.
Yep.
EB. If you don't know, stands for the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, it does. My kids like
EB.
it. My kids truly believe that this is the Easter Bunny. Like they think.
How much does that bunny eat?
A lot. It does. It plows through carrots like you wouldn't believe.
Really?
Yeah, I gotta cut its nails later today, which is gonna be exciting.
Well, it sounds like it'll be fun.
Oh yeah, it's always a good time to get slashed.
So those of you over here on TikTok, again, Dawn has got this big ass bunny and everything. I wish you could see it right now. I wish I could actually bring her up live on here at the same time, but I guess you need the we'll have to get you
we'll figure it out.
Followers. Get her a bunch of followers, have her hit that 1,000 so that she can go live as well. I'm guessing that's what it is. I'm guessing that's why I can't bring you on.
Maybe.
Yeah. So everyone who's watching over here, make sure to go and follow Dawn Shumway. Not just for that, but because she's cool.
I'll like double my followers because I think I have 3. Because I had just joined. Like recently.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, Emily came over here. She goes, got to come over here to see her.
Look.
So it's Dawn and EB over there chilling. Very, very cool. So as we do all the time, how's everyone feeling? How's everyone doing?
So distracting.
Oh, okay. So Emily is right. So Emily says yes, she needs 1,000 and she has 9. So she needs a lot more from that. Yeah, we need to get her up there so that we can bring her on here as well. So how's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome. How are you feeling, Dawn? Let's start with you.
I'm just a 5.
A 5.
I know. It's my allergies.
Oh no.
Ricardo was making fun of me earlier already for it.
How dare you? I was not making. She was making fun of me.
Whatever. It's I love it. Like the season's coming out. No, my bunny's getting the mischief. But yeah, I suffer from allergies. It's super sexy. So bad.
So if I have my headphones over here, people can hear you. So that's good. They can hear you. They can't see you, but they can hear you. So that is good. So you're a 5. I would say I'm about an 8 or 9 coming in.
Good.
I'm feeling really good. Yeah, it's really good. We're gonna have some fun over here on TikTok. How are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome. How are you feeling? And also, where's everybody watching from? Where's everybody from? Dawn, where are you from as you drink your vodka?
Oh, no, this isn't. Look at so delicious.
Oh, it's so delicious. I forgot.
Yeah.
What was that?
So from Boise, Idaho. I need everyone to come visit Like, so when we have Western Regional, which isn't this coming up May, but like the next May,
Next May,
the
2024
next
May.
May 2024, it'll be
Yes.
here in the land of the taters. And
The land
Ricardo
of the
will be here.
taters. That's
Yes.
right. I will be in the
Yes.
land of the taters, 2024, May 2024, as
Yeah, just save it right now. May
closing
6th
speaker.
through the 10th.
Yeah, May 6th through the 10th.
Block
Right?
those dates.
Closing speaker, right?
Yep, closing speaker.
And doing Imagine Listening, so it is going to be
Yep.
awesome. Woo!
Love it.
It's going to be good. So we've got someone over here from TikTok, over here from South
Maryland.
Carolina. Welcome. Awesome. Then looking back over here, let's see. James says, I am a 10, just finished celebrating my daughter's sweet 16 birthday. Oh, yeah. Happy birthday
Yeah.
to your daughter. That is awesome. Chantel says, fan-effing-tastic. Had our annual, what?
Office party.
Oh, office parties. Sorry, there was a V there, and I was trying to figure it out. I'm not as cool as Don.
A fiv.
Office party tonight. Had drinks and laughs with my shit partners, shift partners. My
You
bad.
spelled that one right.
Yeah, that one was spelled right. My bad.
That's on you.
So that was on me. Yes, shift partners. Call it a 9-10 since I have to work tomorrow. All right. Emily
So
says,
maybe
coming in at a 7, still ear achy. Oh,
Yeah.
not good. Not good.
So I think, Ricardo, you should come to speech therapy with me.
Okay. So those who are watching and listening right now, what is it that what is one of the words that you have issues saying? Because apparently, according to some people, Dawn needs speech therapy. I don't believe it. I don't
It's true.
believe it.
It's true.
It's true that people say that, or it's true that you need it.
I think both. People have told
Really?
me that. And then enough people have told me that I'm like, okay, maybe I could work on it. See,
Oh. Okay, so enough people have said that you need speech therapy for whatever reason, but why? What is the reason? What give me a couple of words that you're saying that or that you have said that would cause that.
well, I actually think it's my speed. So sometimes when I'm so
You're on
excited,
speed? Or wait,
yeah,
what?
when I'm on speed.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
so
yeah.
my
It's
speed of
back-
my speech,
Yeah.
when I'm talking, and
Yep.
depending on like my emotion level as well, and also if it's something that I've rehearsed or practiced versus something that's spontaneous. So if it's
Oh.
spontaneous, I'm passionate about it, or there's a lot of emotion, and yeah, then it's getting wild.
Oh my
Who
god.
knows
Okay.
where it'll go.
Let's
Yeah, so-
test this. Let's
yeah,
test
like-
this.
I was in a meeting and people asked me, they're like, "Are you having a stroke?" Because my brain, like, because of the words and the pronunciation, they were like, "Oh no!" Like I couldn't say like the early bird catches worm. That's not what I was saying in the meeting, but
Oh, dude. Yeah, no, that's not a good thing. EMD
yeah. So
style.
they literally stopped. And they're like, "Are you having a stroke?" I'm like, "No, it's just yeah." So it was funny, and then there was that interview that had just happened, which is so funny. The interview story,
Oh, are
which
you
I
able
told
to,
you.
are you able to share that?
Yeah, I can share. I can share.
Oh,
it.
sweet.
So-
Okay.
Yeah, if you guys want to hear it, I'll tell you.
Yes, please. Yeah. Tell us
So-
this story. I cannot wait.
Okay. So for those who don't know me, I'm a communications manager here at Ada County Sheriff's Office in Idaho. And so we had someone who was interviewing for one of the positions that we had open. It wasn't a dispatcher position, but we had a recording specialist position open. And so anyways, during this interview, basically, like any of our other interviews, we have a set of printed out questions and we alternate between whoever's on the panel board from asking these questions to the interviewee. And when it came to me, one of the questions was describe a situation where you had a strained relationship with a coworker or a supervisor and how you handled it. And because of my speech, she's looking at me and she's like, okay, all right, we'll do this. And she proceeds to tell me the wildest fucking story about like a cat and a crazy cat coworker and like all these things. And I was like, hold on, pause, because this is her hero story, if you will. And so for her to be saying this in an interview, I was like, man, this is so wild. Why would you be telling me this? And anyways, and so I turned to my other co-manager who was in on the panel with me after she leaves, and I'm like, that was the weirdest answer ever. And she's kind of like, and I'm like, what? And she goes, she thought you said strange, not strained. And I was like, oh shit. And so sure as shit, yeah, she did. She told me the wildest fucking strange story about like some cat and her coworker. I was like, this is wild. Like that's so weird. Instead of describing like a conflict situation, she went on to describe this. And so, anyways, it was so funny. It was so wild. I was like, oh my gosh, that makes sense. 10 out of 10 because she answered that. It was strange. So, and maybe even like 15 out of 10. I mean, kudos points to her. And so it was just funny because like my coworker knew it the whole time, but she was like, I'm gonna see how this plays out, of course. Why save me? And then I can only imagine that this woman went home and was like, oh my gosh, you guys, guess what? They asked me in my 911 interview. They asked me about a strange situation with like a coworker or supervisor. Like, how weird is that? So of course, I changed the question. Now it says conflict because I can pronounce conflict. But yeah, strange. Fuck that. That was dumb.
Wow.
Yeah,
See,
it was too funny.
yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because I would probably be sitting there as well thinking, what, why is this
Yeah,
person
especially,
doing this
you
right
know,
now?
and props to her because she was kind of like, all right, like, let's do this. Like, she was ready. And I'm surprised she was able to pull one out, like, you know, to be able to just go with it
That
and
sounds great.
answer this question. So, yeah,
Oh,
strained.
see,
Yeah, see,
Emily says she heard strange too. So
strained. Yeah,
okay,
so then,
let me go back up in there. Emily had a bah ha ha ha. She goes, I have so
yeah,
many, but I went through 5.5 years of speech therapy when I learned to talk. Chantel says, I struggle if I can hear someone's radio while I'm giving a return or with weird last names. Otherwise, usually good. In parentheses, always or also don't mind my typos. I don't use autocorrect due to using too much shorthand in my text. And then Emily, I heard strange too. That would be a common mistakenly heard one. That's the wording.
it's the
Dude,
word. Yeah.
that moment that your person who's there for the interview had.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine them
Like,
just sitting there like, okay, did she just
yeah,
really
she was
tell
like,
me about a strange coworker?
yeah,
Yeah, this
the
person
story
used to eat
was
catnip and
It was so weird. It was the weirdest story. Like I've never had anyone tell me that in an interview before. Like
Mhm.
something similar to that. I was like, where are we going with this? I actually had to pause it. I'm like, are we talking about a cat? You know, like and she was like, yeah, a cat. And I'm like, all right, keep going. Like
Oh,
we're invested. It was weird.
but
So
that makes it more hilarious and that makes it
yes.
more fun. Emily's calling me Richardo. No, I'm not having a stroke.
Yeah.
But she's calling me Richardo. For those who are on, so my name is Ricardo. It's Ricardo. Recently, my Imagine Listening book went up for sale for pre-order on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, as well as Books a Million. And it's been doing really good. Like on Amazon itself, just a day or so ago, it was number 2 for new releases that were coming out, and it's only in pre-order. And what? Awesome. Super awesome. Continue to push the book, please, because all of those pre-orders and everything, stores end up seeing that too, and then they'll buy a bunch as well, and it'll go out there. My sister told me, so she's a librarian, and she's like the right hand to the top person, and she told me they ordered the book for their library as well, which is so freaking cool. I'm so excited just to know that it would be in a library for someone to check out. That is really really awesome. But also for the author name, it says Richardo. It has an H in there, and the people who put it in there, um, oh, the people who put it in there, they were like, we saw that there was a typo and we were trying to correct it before you got it, but it's actually going to take like a week because of the, I don't know, the database or catalog. I don't know how it's done, but It's in there as Richardo right now, but it's gonna change here pretty soon. But it's just hilarious. It's just funny because everyone has been saying, "Yeah, we just pre-ordered your book, Richardo," and I just keep telling people the H is silent. Okay, the
Yeah.
H is silent. Aaron, hello. What is going on? Audio Burke. See, I can't talk.
See?
Audio,
You need to
audio
come.
book
It's me.
version. You're rubbing off on me. That's what it is. You're rubbing off on me. Yes, there will be an audiobook version, and I am fighting. No, I'm not playing. I'm not fighting for it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But I'm going to be the one recording all of the audio. I kind of feel like it would be weird if it was someone else's voice. What do you think, Don?
Like Siri.
Yeah.
There was controversy on that, by the way. Did you ever read the article? The
What do you-
woman who was
oh,
like originally Siri's voice, I guess. She says that she wasn't like, yeah, okay, yeah. Wow.
I think I do. Yeah.
Morgan Freeman is what James says.
You have to get Morgan Freeman to do the voice. I mean, if Morgan Freeman was available and he was all about it, dude, hell yeah. For sure. I I would be like, yes. Go ahead. Aaron goes, whoop, whoop. I love when the author tells their own story. Yes. Yeah. I want to read all of those parts and, of course, like the stories. But I think the audio book would have a little bit extra as well, because what I can do is I can actually add in some of the audio from the Imagine Listening sessions that I've done. So I think that would be really cool to be able to do that as well. And so that would be awesome. I would love to do that. Don, where did your rabbit go?
I set it down.
Oh.
It was bugging my allergies.
Oh well, I'm sorry that
I
your
know.
allergies are being.
Maybe I'll make my ducks have an appearance.
Oh, that would be cool too. Everybody loves ducks, so.
Yeah.
I put the link in the comments and over here on TikTok. It's in my bio. It's the links with 2 I's, links.co/WTT podcast. And then there, just scroll down just a little bit and you'll have all 3 options there to be able to choose from to pre-order, whether it be Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Books A Million is the other one that's there. So thank you, all of you, for all of that. And let's get to some of this audio. Yeah. Yes, I'm on TikTok as well as I think it's just WTT podcast. No, 911 podcast. That's what it is. I'm looking at it over here right now. I almost sent you to the wrong thing, Aaron. Yes, you can follow me on there as well. I'm currently live there as well, but it is 911 podcast. James says, I'd say William Shatner, but he's probably not up to doing it. I mean, that would be cool too. William Shatner to do it. All right, here we go. So there's some audio that we're going to play, and this is going to be fun, but also when we get to the end of this, Dawn and I have something to share with you. We've been talking about it, and maybe I think you're still down with it.
Yeah.
To share a project that you and I are working on together.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Okay. So first though, let's play this audio. Let's play this audio because there are some funny ass stories, and I had left a few of them out. And James, you specifically called me a tease last week because I didn't play it. So we are going to listen now. And if anyone's wondering, I've got some kombucha here. It's really good. Kombucha. All right. Here we go. Here's the audio. We're going to play this audio. And I hope you enjoy it as much as Dawn and I enjoyed it. James says, well, you do it all the time. There's a reason that I do that all the time. There's a reason that I tease things, because you come back. And that's good marketing. I just can't throw it all out there, man. I got to tease a little. I got to ease into it. And now it's sounding creepy, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying, just a little bit of tease. What, Don? What are you gonna
You
say?
were making it creepy. I was just
I
gonna say
was looking over there watching you like wipe your nose and stuff. So
I wasn't.
you're wiping.
I
your
muted it because my
Now you
kids
got
are
me doing
playing and out like hooligans.
All right, here we go. Ready? Here comes the audio. And everyone over here on TikTok, you should be able to hear it as well. And I see the hearts coming in. Hell yes, thank you. I'm ready at 547 likes. That is awesome. Let's see if we can hit 1,000. That'd be great. All right, here we go with the audio.
Anyways, this is the first agency that I can say that every shift, every coworker gets along with each other. They're like, oh, each shift has its own mentality. Ours, I guess we're all the same age. We're all pretty much guys, and we tend to hang out outside of work a lot to relieve the stress. We'll be like, hey, we're getting out at 11. Hey, let's go to the billiards and go. Well, besides hanging out at backyards and barbecuing, one time we went to my friend's ranch and we did a bonfire.
Oh, shit. This dude over here knows.
Yeah,
He's
so
like,
anyway-
oh, my God.
He was there too. So anyways,
Okay, hold on. I got to stop it there really quick because if you could hear that, you can hear the one guy in the background going, "Oh, that's why I make a comment that dude was doing that because he knew exactly what story and you can kind of hear him say, I can't believe you're going to tell this story." Don, do you remember seeing him do that? And if you do, like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, I was like, this is gonna be good because I was kind of standing like behind him and I could see like, oh, his arms. He was like, no, like this, and it, and it's kind of interesting when people like cover their head like as if that's gonna protect them, like
Right.
yeah, like so just seeing their physical reactions and stuff. And it was pretty funny because all of them, this whole row, it was this whole group of coworkers. It was pretty fun.
Yes, exactly. It's like someone saying, don't worry, if you close your eyes, they won't see you.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's continue.
He's even covering his face.
for the most part, we talk about work where we're on the bonfire, and since it was his ranch, he also had, what do you call it?
Polaris. It's a Polaris.
Okay, so he had a Polaris. All of our coworkers are,
The way he says it, he's like, oh, okay.
Nick, it's a Polaris.
It's a Polaris. Oh, man, it's the best thing. And we just hit 1.1 thousand likes over here on TikTok. Fuck yes. Thank you. Thank you. That is great. All right, let's continue.
majority of them, some friends that pretty much know all the coworkers. And I guess he tried to be a show off. He took him first to go see, I guess, the fence post and the cattle. Yeah, so he pedal to the metal, went. Okay, that's the first rider. Then the second rider went. Then the third rider. It was already maybe 12 or 1 in the morning, right? So the last friend, who was the next coworker, he's I think a nurse or something. He decided, come on, B, take me to the back of the ranch. Come on, floor it. So they go, right? They do, I guess, a turn. And right at the end, hauling ass, he does a sharp right. It flips over. So he ate mud, grass. We just saw dust all over the thing. So us being dispatchers, we handle this type of emergencies over the phone, right? We never see it in person. We start running over there. We get there. We don't see him. We see our other friend with his hand stuck on the roof somehow like this. And then we're like, what do we do? What do we do? He's like, I don't know, call 911. I'm like, we are 911. I'm like, what do we do?
It was so funny.
Oh my God. Okay, so
R911.
yes, yeah. So everyone listening, it was the most hilarious shit because you can picture, right? That's what we do. We take phone calls and we start picturing everything in our head so well. And they're telling the story. And the one guy, they flip. And as he said, he ate mud, he ate grass, all this other stuff. And they're freaking out because they're not exactly sure what to do at the moment. And the one dude is like, we got to call 911. And the one's like, we are 911. Oh, that was so
funny.
Freaking funny, man. That was the best. So let me back it up here just a few seconds. All right, here we go.
Hauling ass, he does a sharp right.
Yeah, we are 911.
It flips over. So he ate mud, grass. We just saw dust all over the thing. So us being dispatchers, I mean, we handle this type of emergencies over the phone, right? We never see it in person. We start running over there. We get there. We don't see him. We see our other friend with his hand stuck on the roof somehow like this. And then we're like, what do we do? What do we do? He's like, I don't know, call 911. I'm like, we are 911. I'm like, what do we do? So
Hell yes.
one of our friends thinks that he's under the vehicle because the vehicle flipped over to its left. We failed to see that he flew out of the vehicle. So he comes in with like his left shoulder down. We're thinking, oh my God, he broke his shoulder. We need to call EMS. He's like, and then I just hear, oh, my arm. But it was the other guy. We thought it was him. And then we're like, what do we do? I'm like, I don't know. Like, we got to figure something out. So we ended up picking up all the pieces. We drove back. And we're like, hey, what do we do? And like, we were more scared about what his dad was going to say about the vehicle than his injury. So he's like, nah, I'm good. I don't need EMS. I'll go to the hospital the next day. And we're all looking at each other like, okay. Well, I mean, we deal with this all the time. We don't need to call 911. We're good. And then, of course, he didn't break anything. He's still here, you know.
I broke my ego. I broke my pride.
Right? Your pride is what got hurt. Yes.
So now every time, I mean, we still hang out. We have barbecues. We have poker nights. It's mostly coworkers, but we always bring up that story. And honestly, it's when we're at work and we're stressed and we're busy after it dies down. We're like, hey, remember that time we flipped over? Like, oh yeah, it was amazing.
Remember that Polaris? That was awesome. Thank you. Every time I see a Polaris now, I'm going to think of that story. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can hear the one dude in the background when after. So you can just hear it. The guy who had this happen to him, he ends up saying me too, because I said, now whenever I see a Polaris, I'm going to think about this call, and you can hear him in the background go, yeah, me too.
Yes. It was so funny. It was so funny that day. And like, also just like, I can only like also imagine being back in the dispatch center. And I love that they actually refer to this, like that they can go back to this moment and just kind of lighten the mood. Like, that's so great.
We definitely need it, right? We definitely need that in the center, especially after, you know, a hard call or whatever. And, you know, yeah, like he was saying, after
and you could feel their friendship.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they were all brothers for sure. And then there was a girl there with them too, who was definitely their sister. And it was funny because they're laughing at each other and talking and stuff. I got a picture with them. I need to get that picture because those guys were funny, man. They were hilarious. They were cool. So over here, just looking at the comments, holy shit, over here on TikTok, we're at 2.6 thousand likes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it more than you know. Over here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, James says, they say doctors are the worst patients, so I guess 911 operators are the worst witnesses?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's kind of funny.
All right, so here's the next two.
That's not fair because I cannot top that, but only in the valley. Okay.
Oh.
So I actually have two. They're real short and they're probably kind of stupid. But the first one we have, of course, you know how we receive calls for service for, you know, animals being aggressive and whatnot. So I had a caller who called in. It's like, see, ma'am, I need you to send an officer out here because there's a dog over here. Like, he's real big and he's barking it up in the neighborhood. And, you know, usually for dogs at large, it's maybe suspicious activity. That's how we give it out on the radio. Tell me why, when I was giving it out to my officer, I said, no, can I have you en route to such and such location?
Hold on really quick over here on TikTok. I've got someone here that commented saying, whenever I see something, I always say, someone else will call. Well, because we know, right? We know the amount of phone calls that are coming in for shit like that, right? And you know, the cars in front of you, everyone is already called and stuff. So, yeah, I agree.
Have caller advising that it's a large canine barking it up in the neighborhood. And I'm like, what the fuck did I just say?
You were in the groove.
Yes, because I was still on the phone with him.
Yes.
And my corporal texted me. He's like, did you just say barking? And I was like, look, man, just go out there, okay? Or else I'm going to give you the
Aaron
next call for
McElhenney.
service.
What is going on? Yes. I love that. Very
And so
nice.
they went out there, like, oh yeah, my officer made contact with the owner and stuff. It wasn't even a big dog. It was like a little shepherd mix. And it was the cutest thing. They sent me a video that people, I swear, they get so scared of dogs. I'm like, get out of here with that. But anywho, so make contact with the owner, just cited him for canine at large, whatever, because the dog was being a little aggressive, but the dog is a dog. They're going to act within their means,
Right, yes.
protecting their habitat. Anyways, my second story.
Okay, before we get to the second story, let's dig into this really quick. How many of you have taken a call and or you're reading about it or whichever, and you say something like that over the phone? So this was a dog. The caller said the dog was barking it up, and she gave it out that way as well. Be en route to such and such place in reference to a dog that's barking it up in the area. Dawn, have you?
Oh yeah, I had a caller that said there was, instead of saying there was a lot of flames, I don't know why they said there's serious flamages. And so I said that. It was dumb. It was like,
serious flamages.
Serious flamages on a house fire.
Yes.
They were busy, so I don't even think they caught it, but I was like, oh shit.
Well, Aaron over here says, I've said dancing in the street. I like it. It's so there's a lot of times, right, where we get calls and we're hearing things or saying things or whatever, and sometimes shit just comes out. And what do? You can't backpedal. There's no, I mean, you can try to backpedal, but there's nothing else you can do. You can't shove those words back in your mouth. And I remember, I've told this story before, but I want to make sure to say it again because it's funny shit. But I remember coming in to relieve one of my coworkers on main radios. Excuse me. And when I walked up, he was putting out a verbal domestic, and he ends up saying, like, he tones it out. You got people going out there, and he goes, caller advised, his wife has been giving him shit, and then he unkeys, and I stood there with my eyes wide open, and I'm just staring at my coworker, and I just went, dude.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there, like, you can see the beads of sweat just starting to build up. And one of the deputies keys up and goes, Central, can you repeat that? And my coworker ends up keying up. Doo-doop. Yeah, he advised she's giving him shit. It's been a long day.
A long day.
Yes, it's been a long day, and then unkeys, and I am just busting up laughing, and he's like, "Fuck you, Ricardo," and it was the best shit ever.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's always better when it's someone else that's doing it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but I don't know. For me, like, I would laugh anyway, and I would just be, because I don't care.
Yeah.
But let's see over here in the comments. Emily says, I love giving noise complaints out how the caller says, or any other interesting descriptions. Same. Like, if someone is swearing it up, I'll put that in the narrative. And maybe the person on the radio will say it, or they won't. But I've had people say, why do you put all of that stuff in there? Like, you're going to get in trouble. And I was like, no, because I'll explain and say, if this goes to court, this is exactly what the caller said. I'm just documenting.
It's true. Well, and I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but I have where you're just so busy that sometimes like your notes don't make perfect sense, right?
Yeah.
And so we were putting in, this caller was describing this suspicious vehicle, and it was actually a donut van, but they're like, oh, it has a logo on the side, has a logo. So I'm like, okay, like, and I'm focused on like, what's this logo? And they're like, it says a donut without a hole. So I'm like, okay. And so they're like, oh, it's taken off. So then I started focusing on like because they were worried it stole a stolen Amazon package or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was worried about the direction of travel. So the way that my notes read, it was like, hey, there's this van, a donut without a hole, northbound on this street. And so the radio dispatcher was giving this out. And so she, poor thing, she didn't pre-read my notes. So she's just reading them as is. And so she's like, she just unkeys and she's like, I fucking hate you. And then because she said, she's just reading it, and it makes her sound stupid, right? Because she's like, a donut without a hole. And she's like, you're paying for this, you know, like just because that's how she read it out. She's like, what am I saying? What am I saying here? So I did feel bad. I'm like, no, it's a donut van. I missed that part because that part wasn't in there because so it's kind of funny.
Well
It's kind of funny how the stuff we said. Yes, been there, done that. Oh my gosh, Amanda. Yeah, it's funny. It happens. It happens.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. So going into the comments here, Chantel says, we've had some doozies. Luckily, I dispatch only for my state troopers and not 911, but some of the things they put over the air are ridiculous. Emily says, my favorite times are when callers call to report suspicious activities and it's officers.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's the best. Chantel says, or worse, they're calling because they saw a helicopter flying low and they think we know what's going on. Yeah, that's a big one. Damn, I haven't thought about that in a long time, but that is a big one. Pamela says, Dawn.
Yes, hi Pamela.
So there was, oh my God. So there was one time I'm on the radios and I wasn't, it was pretty much the same thing. How it was written, I read it that way. And so it was one of my cane officers were they were headed out to a call. And I'm just gonna say how I gave it out. And just know I didn't realize right away what I had said or how I read it because of how it was in there. Okay. So I end up putting out and it was a K9 unit, so I'll just say the whatever unit, but it was like in Central to K91. Like K91, go ahead. Be en route to such and such address in reference to suspicious, I don't know, whatever. And at the end, I said, caller advised that you can use her back door when you arrive. And I unkeyed and I just sat there and my partner's looking at me and I said, what?
We're 5 years old.
I know. And then I hear Central. What did the caller advise again? And I say, caller advise you can use her back door when you arrive.
Of course she can.
Yeah. And yes, over here, Aaron goes #dirty. Yeah. So, but it wasn't until I said it that second time, right at the end, that I'm like stuttering over my words, and I'm immediately sweating, like my face is hot. Face is hot, dude. And I'm just sitting there, and I just unkey, and I'm like, son of a, I cannot believe I wasn't even paying attention, and then more laughing. 10-4 Central, I'll be en route. Damn it. And then I get an MCT message from him like, dude, that was great. And I was like, I can't take credit for that in any way because I did not mean to say that.
That's funny.
Let's see. Amanda says, or suspicious activity, and turns out it's a PI. Yeah, that too. Pamela says the best was when a citizen sent us a pic of my ex sleeping in his squad car in the high school parking lot. Oh no.
Yeah,
Emily laughing at my bah no. Let's see, over here it says even better was he was an FTO and his trainee sent me a video of him sleeping.
They probably saved that.
Oh, probably.
Oh yeah.
Especially for, when people end up retiring, a lot of times they have the audio and shit to play at the going away party. Let's see, Chantel says, that's why I always start rehearsing what I'm going to give out about 30 seconds before I send it.
Yes, and read it twice.
And always read it twice before giving returns. Oh, Pamela says, oh, I saved it. See, but I don't know about you, Don, or anybody else who's watching, whether it be here on TikTok, and thank you very much. We're at 3.3 thousand likes. Yes, thank you. Or over here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. How many of you do not read like those Beyond the Lookouts? Like there will be a lot of times that. Oh, over here, Aaron says, whenever I rehearse, I stumble. Yeah, so I would just read it. I was notorious for not reading stuff, especially in a Be on the Lookout, and that's just what would happen. Emily over here can hear your puppers. She says, "Puppers."
There,
It's either that or it's her rabbit. It's actually a
no,
dog.
Lucy, come here. Oh, another one.
Oh, there it is. It's a little dog.
Yeah, we adopted Lucy. This is Lucy. We just adopted her.
Well, hello, Lucy.
Yeah.
Now I have to ask, since that dog is about the size of your bunny that you just had there, do they
It
fight?
is. Look at it.
Do they
Yeah.
fight? Like, do they get into battles? Do they do any cage matches or anything?
Well, the bunny's stronger than Lucy. So Lucy's like Lucy's a puppy, so she wants to play with my bunny.
Mhm.
But the bunny's like it does parkour. It's like parkour, and gets like over my couches. And so
Like in the office?
it's seriously like I'll have to send you a video. There's no way Lucy, who's quite fast, she could catch my bunny.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Oh,
then
over
my
here.
bunny will thump
Yeah,
if
I'll
it's
do this.
annoyed with her.
Say that again.
Like it will thump. It says like a warning, like
The rabbit will?
yeah, like get the fuck out of my face. It thumps. Yeah, it's pretty. It gives a
Holy
warning thump.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't want to play with the puppet.
So
Poor
you've
Lucy.
got
So
80
sad.
kids and you've got 10 dogs and 4 rabbits. Perfect.
Yeah, I do have Thumper. That's what we should have named him. Thumper.
Yeah, why didn't you?
Yeah.
It's with
Well,
Edie.
because we didn't threaten it before, so we didn't know until we got Lucy that it's like,
What?
It's just that, like Lucy's the poor new kid. My bunny's not like maybe they'll become friends later. I'm sure. They're getting
Maybe.
used to
I don't know. That warning thump. Even Pam over here is like, warning thump. Ha, ha,
it. Yeah,
ha.
parkour.
And always says parkour and Don. You
If
make
you
me
haven't seen
want to
bunnies,
like
they do.
bunnies.
They're like da-da-da-da. Yeah, they do that.
Okay, you're gonna have to send this video. So
I
that
will,
next
and
week-
I'll edit it with parkour as they
Yeah.
like.
Yes, yeah. So that next week during open mic, you can play that video of your
Yeah.
bunny being a ninja.
I'm gonna try to find a couple videos because I have an embarrassing one. Like so, when Pamela when she was talking about like a video, so when they first installed cameras at like because it used to be your center didn't have cameras. Now I mean a lot of centers have cameras. This is like when they first put them in. Anyways, so what happened for me is so I'm working a shift and I ended up we had cubicle walls, so I'd play like hey guys, what are you doing? Because I was so
Like
short.
that?
Yeah, seriously. And so I would often actually kneel on my chair to be like, "What's up?" Because it was always like I was peeking over, so it was just easier to elevate because I'm short to see over by
Oh,
kneeling. So I'd kneel on my chair to get the height.
you're like
So I could just
5'11".
be like,
Good, thank you.
"Hello," instead of like the whole like home improvement thing,
Yeah,
you know, where it's like, yeah. So, anyways, so then instead of like a normal person getting off my chair and then like sitting down and scooting to my console, I decided to give a little like twist off of the cubicle wall, give it a little push.
Oh,
Anyways, but you
you
have
did
your
well.
umbilical cords because you're plugged in and tethered.
Oh,
like
for
your
sure,
phone
yes.
cord. Yeah. So I'm tethered. And anyways, things got wrapped. Things went south. I ate shit. It's not as cool as the Polaris because there wasn't like alcohol or other things involved. It was just me. And so then anyways, like it was bad. But my coworkers, they just like peek up. They're like, oh, she's fine. Nobody offers assistance. I'm like this big tangled, like think of your headset. You know how
Yeah.
like tangled they get?
Right.
So I'm just this like giant tangled mess of headset and chair on the floor. And so I come to work the next day and they're like, funny video. I'm like, oh, what's this? And I click on it and it's me. They send it out to everybody. I'm
Oh,
like, guys, come on. So yeah, so sometimes it circulates. It's probably on YouTube. I don't know. Like, but yeah, like the
I wanna
retirement
see
parties,
it.
people save it. People like Pamela. So
I want to see it.
yeah, I'll bust it out and be like, here's this video.
Anyone who works with Dawn and knows of this video, please send it to me.
This is way back. This goes way back. Yeah. Yeah, our office is 0 days from our last accident. That's what we need to have. That's
Yep.
funny.
See, Emily says she needs to see it too. Chantel says, reminds me of all the crazy stories one of my shift partners came up with after I badly sprained my ankle after getting tangled.
Oh my gosh, you sprained your ankle?
My phone charger late in 2020. That's
Yeah, that's
pandemic time.
I do have a video of other people. You know how I don't know if you have cameras outside of your center, but we do. And I do find some enjoyment when it's snowy and it's icy, and I see people like go out of camera view, like they're in camera view, and then they're like not. And I'm like, oh no, they
Yeah.
fell.
Yeah, there was one time where it was like really bad out once, and someone, one of my coworkers goes, "Hey, I'm gonna go out and clean off the cars and stuff. You know, do you want or clean off my car? Do you want me to clean off yours as well?" I was like, "Yeah, that'd be great."
Yeah.
We see her walking out. Okay, we see her walking out, and she slips and falls and lands not on like the cement, but lands where the grass would be, but just lays there on her back for like a minute straight. Like it seemed a lot longer, but it was more hilarious by the fact that she just stayed there. And then she gets up and cleans everything. But the funny thing too is that when she went down and she laid there, like after a few seconds, you know, after we're like, ha ha ha, oh, she's not getting up. So here's the thing, because it started to kind of pick up once she left. We go in the intercom that is right in front of the doorway where she would hear it, and we just like, hey, are you okay? We just saw you fall back. I'm all right.
So sad. I know everybody's experienced stuff like that. Whenever I fall, my first thing is like, who saw? And then,
well, yeah, because okay, so when you're a little kid and you fall, like it's okay, like it's funny, right? But as an adult, when you fall, one, it hurts, and then two, it also hurts your pride,
yeah.
and it's like embarrassing as fuck, right? Like you fall and the few times that I've fallen as an adult, I just lay there. Because to me, it's more comical to just lay there, and it's the same way as my friend when she fell, but to be like, "You all right, dude?" "Yep, it's just my pride. I'll get up in a minute."
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, and I like what Emily said. She's like thinking no good deed. That's probably what your coworker was thinking. Like no good deed.
Yeah. James says, "Man, did you get shot in the eye?" No, man. My eye patch is from a paperclip flying across the office.
There's a new policy now, James, isn't there?
So, well, here's another thing we used to do when, of course, when there was nothing going on, and this was years and years ago, but either way, when there was nothing going on, there was one line that the officers would call on only. It was just for the officers that they would call on. Sometimes, somehow, some people would get in there, but it was always, you know, it was a non-emergency line and stuff, and it was officers that would be calling in for numbers and times or shit, or for us to do a breathalyzer entry for them or something. And as soon as that line would go off and someone would answer, we had these little styrofoam airplanes, and we would just throw them from one side of the room over to the other to see if we could clock the person while they're talking on the phone.
I've had to send out emails about those stress balls that you get from conferences.
Oh, yeah,
They're
we
like,
used to throw those too.
Yeah. Be like, it has to be to a consensual, like, participating person. You know, like, because it's always like, because we suck at throwing, and so if somebody throws it and hits the wrong person, they're like, oh, shit. And then that person's like,
what did you do? Why did you do
like,
that?
well, no, like, hey, and that's fair. Because they're like, my food, you can't let it tip your drink. Don't wanna steal
Especially if
this.
it's not so delicious that you have
Yeah,
there, right?
because Billy, you're so delicious. And Emily, I bet when Emily falls, she's like, this checks out.
What? Because she goes, "Oh, when I fall, I bust out laughing. I have a bad hip, and if I kneel, sometimes I just kind of fall on my ass." And everyone just goes, "Meh, it's Emily."
Right? Like,
That's so wrong. Over here, I've got I sleep with the wrong pillow and I am off to the Cairo, falling. Yikes,
Yeah.
dude! It sucks. Man, yeah, I've had those moments where like I'm getting up or moving around. It's like I'm like, oh, I feel my age right now.
Yeah, it's wild.
Okay, let's hear. we went off on a
We
on a
did.
thing there, but this is good though. This has been fun. This has been fun. I hope you guys are all having fun. All right. I still want to see your dog and your rabbit though get into a cage match, like some pro wrestling shit. It'd be great. All right, here we go.
And it involves me. I was at work one day and I don't know what happened. I was in dispatch and we had a regular normal 12-hour day. About maybe 2:00, I was kind of like, okay. I felt a little off. I felt super off. And we were so busy that morning, it just, I swear, it never stopped. And I was talking to one of my officers on the phone, who's also my work husband. He's been my best friend since we were in high school. And I told him, I was like, man, like, I feel off. Like, I feel weird. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. He's like, no, pues call 911. I'm like, bro, are you serious right now? I was like, if you call it, I'm going to answer it. He's like, pues call. It's like, you're so stupid. Tell me why 5 minutes later, I ended up having a severe anxiety attack at work. And EMS had to come evaluate me and everything. And he comes to dispatch. He's like, hey, what's going on? Oh, I had an anxiety attack. Oh, what the fuck? He's like, I feel so bad. Because of that, he feels so guilty. So I ride that train and make him feel guilty even till this day.
All right.
And now that I'm on patrol and I'm on his card, I'm like, hey, remember that one day? Shut up. I was like, no, que no, cabron.
Like, you better bring me some comida, man. You better bring some food. Oh, that was awesome. Thank you.
So the passenger that he fell with in the car, when he used to work with us,
Yeah.
on his first month, like month or less, he got his first 911 call for Burley Habitation. He answers the call, and it's a
Okay. Could you tell what he said there? Habitation. But the word before that. Did you catch it, Don?
The burning?
Was it burning?
I can hear. Go back.
Okay. Is your nose okay?
Yes.
You're like, shut up. All right, here we go.
Bring some food. Oh, that was awesome. Thank you.
so
Yes, Ruth. Ruth got it. Yeah. Yes. And Aaron over here, you got it. Burley. Burley Habitation. So when we were standing there, so the speakers are going out this way. Okay. They were big speakers and they're going out the opposite direction. So standing in front of the room, I couldn't hear what it was. I could not hear exactly what he said until like the third time that he said it. Then I realized what it was that he was saying. And then, of course, when I'm editing the episode, it's super obvious. But standing up front, like the acoustics in that room, I mean, they were good when there was everyone in there. But when there's like the echo and everything else, I was like, I'm not sure I know what he said.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue.
the passenger that he fell with in the car, when he used to work with us, on his first month, like month or less, he got his first 911 call for Burley Habitation. He answers the call, and it's a Spanish-speaking elderly female. So she was kind of hard, but if you really caught it on, like active listening, you understand it. But he didn't. He was fresh. She said it's inside the house. She doesn't want to leave. So this guy really clicked, like, "Oh, ¿qué está pasando? What's going on?" He's like, "No, she broke in. She doesn't want to leave. She's harassing me." And I'm like, so this guy's like, oh, like full throttle, like, "Oh no, hey, we got a Burley Habits in progress." So he's putting it up. He's asking all the questions. What is she wearing? I don't know. I killed her. She's on the floor. And we're like, oh, like, I wasn't there at the time, but these.
Okay. So here's another thing. There are moments during open mic when someone is sharing a story and something like that is said, and everyone's like, ha ha ha.
Wait, what? Yeah.
Yeah, like, wait, should we be laughing at that? Wait a minute. So That was one of those moments. So okay, here we go.
Oh, were you there? No. Okay, so they were there, but he told us, and we listened to the recording. So he's going off for like 3-5 minutes to like Burley Habitation, asking descriptions, like what part of the room and everything. After asking several times, but he wasn't listening. He was just, capturing some words. At the end, he's like, "Señora, like, go outside the house." He's like, "¿Por qué? I killed it already." And we're like, "What did you kill? How's the lady? Is she bleeding? Whatever." He's like, "No, it wasn't a lady. It was a snake." So like the entire time that, hey, like as soon as he finds out, it's like, "Oh, it's a snake." Hey, cancel. Like, you hear it in the recording. He's like, "Hey, cancel. It's a snake. And ever since then, every time we hang out with it, we're always like, "Hey, remember that snake call?" Don't start.
That is awesome. Thank you. Snakes and Polarises. Oh.
I don't know if you know.
CPR instructions. She was saying that she had taken, there was a call, there was CPR instructions. The person kept saying, my baby, and it turned out it was a dog, right? Had one similar where someone in Wisconsin, same exact thing, my baby, my friend, all of this, and it turned out it was an iguana. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I'm working in dispatch open.
Okay, let me stop it there really quick. So it turned out to be a snake, but in the beginning, that the person was thinking that it was a lady, that a lady had broken in and was being basically like disorderly and shit. And the owner of the house was like, I killed her already. I killed her, and they're freaking out. Everyone is heading out there, but it turned out that it was a snake. It was just a snake. And we continue. This is I don't know what story this is. But we're going to play this one, and then we're going to wrap it up because we're already over the hour. And that was fast. It didn't even seem like it.
It didn't. It was way fast.
Dawn is here, and we're having fun, and we're talking and everything, and we're laughing, and she's picking her nose, all of that good stuff.
So rude.
Oh, you were. No. I saw you. You were like...
You were Chardo.
Oh. That's some shit. No, I'm just playing.
Well, your book is number 2.
Oh, that means 2 things, right?
Yeah. Only your book would be number 2.
Damn, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Holy crap. All right.
I just feel like we haven't talked about it in every other episode we do.
What?
Crap.
Oh, yeah.
We had to sneak it in.
So for those who are watching, whether it be here on TikTok, which thank you, we're at 4.5 thousand likes now. Hell yes. Thank you so much. Or over here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, Dawn hates with a passion when poo is talked about.
I don't hate.
And I don't know why. Like, whether like she fell in it one day or
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Like
but it is funny. We usually somehow, like, regardless of the topic, we'll come back to it. I'm pro poo talk in some scenarios. Remember the because I want us to be turds. Remember.
Look at Emily.
It's a crappy such a crappy subject. Yeah. Well, because turds, and we won't get into this because it's a long story, is the tactical emergency response dispatcher.
Tactical emergency response dispatcher.
Yeah.
Heard.
Yeah. Got it.
Oh, over here says, come on, we've all got that one. Ick.
Oh, yeah. There's.
Oh, my God. Okay.
We'll have to do a whole one time of just those. It is funny.
Right. There was a lot of them that you could make up, acronyms and stuff that are, didn't you have one that was a fart as well?
Yeah. I have a weekly meeting. It's a Friends Alliance roundtable.
Say it again.
A Friends Alliance round table.
Friends Alliance round table.
Yeah, but round table with 2 words. Yeah, yeah. So we can it's a meeting where we let things pop. We let things out. We get things going. We don't hold back. Let loose.
I like it. I mean, let loose. You don't hold back. I mean, that's basically a fart. So, I mean,
Yeah, Emily, everybody
fun.
goes by turd, and it makes me sad because it would be funny because a turd, that's like a turd is literally when shit hits the fan. Like
Yes.
when you need a turd.
Oh my God, Dawn.
Anyway, we can't go down here. We got to wrap up.
I know. Okay, let me play this last
on.
audio, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, here we go.
Out the dispatcher and 911 rings, and it just so happens it's my mother-in-law. She calls me by name and she says, "Our hayfield's on fire." And I'm like, "What?" And she says, "Yes, I looked outside. There's smoke." She said, "The hay pen is burning." So here I'm dispatching out the fire department and everything. And my husband works night, so he was asleep. So I'm blowing up his phone, calling him. And he finally wakes up and I said, "Honey, the hayfield's on fire." And he's like, "What?" I said, "Mom called, the hay pen's on fire." And he says, "Did you call 911? I said, "Honey, I am 911.
Very nice. Thank you.
So it's not.
So that was another one right there where the mother-in-law called the person telling the story while she's in dispatch. She calls her. She is literally 911 at that moment.
Literally.
Yeah. So the person telling the story is calling her husband from 911. And he's like half awake. He's like, "Did you guys call 911?" She's like, I am 911. Damn
Like,
it.
like, let me take off my wife hat. It's my
Right.
911 hat. Yeah.
Yes. It was hilarious. There is still like 30 minutes worth of audio from that episode. So we will save the rest for next week. Thank you all for being on with us. Well, before we go into the wrap up though, what is everyone's numbers? What are your numbers now? I was at an 8 or 9 coming in. I'm way above a 10 and way out there. What is your number now on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome? How are you feeling now? This was a lot of fun. Dawn, I know you're not feeling good, so
I feel better. Yeah, I feel 7. It's laughter is good medicine.
hell yes.
It is good.
I'm
And
glad.
it's nice to be with just chat with friends.
Exactly.
It is nice.
Over here, I've got definitely way above.
Oh yeah,
a 10
Emily
now.
says we forgot to talk about the project.
Very nice. What?
Emily says we forgot to talk about the project.
Oh, yes,
we
we
did.
did.
Yeah, so
Should I play?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, play a clip of it. You'd have to play a tiny clip. Like,
Or it's like 5 minutes long.
do it.
Okay, hold on.
Maybe a smaller clip.
I can't do it.
I don't know.
It won't make sense. It won't make sense if I do it smaller. Okay. Does everyone have like 5.5 minutes?
5.5.
Yes? Because you are all going to be the very first people to hear this. Do it. Over here on TikTok, they're like, do it. Okay. Are you good, Dawn?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Oh my God. Okay. I can't believe we're doing this. All right, let me find it here. All right. Oh man. I just got to open it up here. So hold on 1 second. Everyone's like, dude, you said like 5.5 minutes, not 20. All right. Just want to make sure that this is the right one here. DV. Okay. So, what I'm about to tell you right now, again, Dawn and I are working on a project. Okay. If you don't know Dawn's story, it's a pretty powerful one. And just Dawn is one of the greatest humans I know. And we're working on this project that's starting out. And I can't say when it's going to come out, but it's going to be coming out soon because I really want to work this through. So this, again, is about 5.5 minutes long. This is simply a proof of concept, okay? Dawn, I know you're okay. Here we go. So Dawn, if you can like unmute really quick, can
Yeah,
you?
my kids are coming in for snacks, and I'm trying to be like, you can get your snacks later.
Oh, okay. Well, all I was gonna say was that if you could give just a glimpse into what happened and what it is that I'm reading in this clip.
Well, so like a glimpse overview. I can't remember who. So for those who don't know, so my dad, when I was 9 years old, he killed my mom and my sister, and so there's this huge story, obviously, that goes around with this. And I do like I talk about this on a big side. Sorry, my kids are being so loud. I talk about this and like on like in a big setting in a big class. So some of you may have seen like snippets of it. And what this project is with Ricardo is just really kind of really getting into even more of those details, even than what any of my classes have even ever done, such as even these letters. So Ricardo, I sent him one of the letters of my dad, and he actually read it, recorded it in his voice. And the reason why this will be powerful is anytime that, like for me, like having all these letters and all these documents and this other stuff, it just felt too powerful to throw away. But also I don't want to just save it for nothing. And I can see that in other areas when people share the stuff, it's not like I'm necessarily always offering solutions, but just kind of exposure and awareness. I think it sees that people like that they're not alone, or that maybe they're in a situation where like, oh my gosh, like I need to get out. Like this is me. Like I'm living this. So like if it could help one person, maybe someone else who is like my mom to leave, then maybe it'll be good.
So what you're going to hear is me reading the first page of this long, almost like book. There's 17 pages worth of a letter that Dawn's dad wrote while he was locked up. And so it's me reading this, and this is basically, again, this is a proof of concept of what this basically mini series is going to be. And the name at the end of the mini series is not the name. We'll tell you that at the end of this. That name was just something that was in there. It was just something that I threw in there at that time because we hadn't had a name yet. But when we were doing the workshop in Alabama, actually when we were driving to the airport on the way back, is we came up with the name there. And so here we go.
July 28th, 2003. Dear Aspen and Dawn, I went to finish one of my letters to you and found out I had mixed up the information of a job plan with your letter, so it was not available. Girls, in this letter, I am going to ship a whole lot of smaller prattle, and I am not going to waste my time nor yours by crying on your shoulders or by telling you of my situation or troubles. At least not this time. I have wrote way too many letters to you guys and never send them. They get lost, trashed, or I changed my other mind, as a friend of mine used to say, and I tear them up and literally flush them down the toilet. Like my life. Down the toilet. But before I go on to the meat of this letter, I want to ask you how you two girls are doing. I know you won't tell me, but it is on my mind as often as my thoughts about dear old mom. I have been worried and saddened by her foot problem and by her living alone. To me, being alone would be a great thing to experience again, for a while at least. But everyone gets lonely, and we need love, help, and caring, understanding, and support, laughter of others, and oh, so much, much more. Got to go. I'm going to get beat up quick on the basketball court. Later tonight, I'll get back to you via letter, as you are always with me otherwise, whether you like it or not. Showered, prayed, back, changed clothes, and folded clothes. Talked about family and kids with another inmate and shared similar names. His daughter died real young. Named Summer Star. Star was most likely to be my next child's first or second name. Well, kids, the light's out. And I'll get to the point, I guess. I am very, very surprised that nobody has ever asked any follow-up questions about what happened. Nothing about the year leading up to the tragedy, or for that matter, the years of our marriage and our family, period. No questions about April 15th, 1994, and the months between them and the tragic event. No questions about the damnable night itself. No questions about the aftermath, what transpired with the investigation, the charging, the jailing, the lying, the cover-ups, the pursuing, the ATF investigation, the lying, crooked prosecutor, the lying defense attorney, who was the prosecutor's campaign president, the lying judge, the lying findings, the broken promises, the broken deals, the misinformation for me to drop my attempt to change my plea, and the later lies to have me withdraw my appeal of my case, the reversal of the findings, and the addresses to the Board of Pardons and about the Board of Pardons sentence or decision of my life. No questions, no inquiry, just, oh well, for those foreign sayings about what will be, will be. Just me, here in the void, called the belly of the beast by some, called hell on earth by others, called just hell by the non-believers, and an indescribable, unbelievable existence that people of the United States turns their eyes away from and does not want to hear about or talk about. The lost ones. Coming soon, a Within the Trenches exclusive from the Code 7 Podcast Network, a look into a true crime story of a beloved 911 dispatcher, her law enforcement husband, and a family torn apart by domestic violence and murder. Coming soon, Priority DV.
And there it is.
What do you think, guys?
What was that?
I said, what do you think, guys? I'm like waiting. You know, it's interesting because, like, for me, like, I've heard these words before, but I think what surprises people about my dad is, like, his speech. Like, I mean, this is someone who's murdered other people. This is a serial rapist. Like, just think of how he talks, and just like his demeanor. Also, this letter. Well, what's interesting about it, and it's cool, like during what we'll be doing is just kind of adding another element, because this letter was written in July of 2023, or sorry, of 2003. So this is actually just less than 2 months after I got hit by a car and had brain surgery. I mean, like in this, like it's just interesting, like, you know, this is like how his brain behaves. And also, like, so I kind of gagged, maybe you guys saw that when he talked about like love, because, you know, now, like, because my dad's out, and it's just kind of wild to me to be like, man, like, what if he's not alone? So he's very well with his, I would be shocked if he's single, honestly.
Wow.
Well, I doubt.
If you look in the comments, there's the response of what people think. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. And so that you know, so again, the title is not Priority DV. The title of this project, this series that's going to come out, is called Hidden: The Monster Within. That will be the name of this limited series that's going to be coming out on Dawn's story, and a true crime story. And the way you were talking, so when I was reading this, I don't know if I don't remember if I told you or not, but I'll tell you right now. When I was reading it, I remember at one time you were telling me you're gonna want to bleach your brain once you're reading this. And that little bit that I read, I sat there for a moment. I was like, holy shit, like, how am I gonna do this? And I was trying to think in my head of how to read it. And I closed my eyes, and I just kind of thought about the like kind of an ice cold, ruthless type approach. And that's how I read it. And I read it in one shot. And when I was done, I just sat there for a moment and I was like, oh my God. And it was something else. And then because for a moment there I thought, damn, how are Dawn and I gonna do this? Like, this is gonna be we're gonna have to bleach our brains for sure. Yeah. You're
I know. Yeah. Yeah, well, bleaching the brain, and just even because just capturing into things like whether you like it or not. Like my dad would add in things like that that may not seem like as powerful, or like that it wouldn't last, but like imagine just like driving to work and then having that thought bubble in your head, or you know, and different things like that. So, but yeah, I mean, and yeah, Ruth, I appreciate your comment. I really do hope that by sharing it, just kind of maybe give some people some insight. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
But there's another reason. There's another reason that we're doing this
There's
as
a big
well.
reason. Yes.
Yes, please tell the other reason.
So the big reason is that hopefully we can fundraise and change my mom and my sister's headstone, because because my family was such big, like in this Christian and Mormon environment and like belief. They actually it says my dad's name on the back of their grave, like their headstone. So it says husband, Fred Hansen. Like, as if it's so weird. Does it say murder? Does it say douche canoe? I mean, the fact that his name's on there. So it'd be like, it's something that would always be cool. Like, because right now it just bothers me that, like, I'm like, man, and this is an unrealistic fear that, like, shut up, Toby. Sorry. It's an unrealistic fear that he is like standing there. But I just can't help but picture that, like, he's gone back, and to see his name, like, oh,
Yes.
he doesn't deserve to be there.
So there you go. You all heard it here first. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and here on TikTok. This is a project that originally I just had marked as Project Dawn, which I think was a cool name.
Project Dawn.
Yeah, it's the secret name was Project Dawn at the time. And then this will be a limited series on the podcast that's going to be coming out, where we're going to be kind of digging deep into this true crime story. And what you heard there is the proof of concept for Hidden: The Monster Within. And it is our hope and everything that by going through all of this and people hearing this story more and getting it out there, that we are able to crowdfund to get both of those headstones changed. And we love you, Dawn.
Yeah, it would be really great. That would be awesome. So, but yeah, and for me, that like wouldn't you make, because it's not something I definitely don't want to be like, oh, I have to have that, because but it would be nice to have. So, not gonna lie. But anyways, that would be cool, right, guys? Yay!
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and look in the comments, man. Like, there's a lot of love there.
Excited. Yeah, it'll be good. I think Toby says it's time to go. Also, I've drinking this entire thing, so my bladder says that like we're running out of time.
Okay. All right. So, in closing, all of that, make sure to stay tuned. You all heard it here first. We're going to be doing this. That was the proof of concept. And thank you, Dawn, for just having the courage to open up and share. And I feel honored to be doing this with you. So
Yeah, well, and you did it very good justice. So
I
I
appreciate
that's
it.
a compliment. That
Thank
you, yeah,
I
that
appreciate that.
you captured that. So yeah.
So for everyone who is watching, if you have any comments, questions, or you ever want to be a guest on the flagship show, you can email us, and that'll be wttpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that is wttpodcast@gmail.com. And for following on social media, any of that stuff, to become a subscriber of the podcast, just simply go to, for over here on TikTok, just go to the link in the bio. That is, and for everybody else, it is links.co. That is links with 2 I's .co/WTT podcast. And you can find everything on there. Thank you all very much for joining us tonight. This can be seen on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, as well as TikTok. And you can listen to the flagship show 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. And one last time, the Imagine Listening book is up for pre-order right now. So please go there and pre-order the book. The more people that pre-order before it launches, the more that stores all over the place end up getting it or purchasing a bunch so that they can sell it in their store as well. So let's blow this one out of the water. Let's get it out there. It's available for pre-order on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, as well as Books A Million. Thank you all so very much. And I think Dawn left so that she could go use the bathroom. And we will see you in the next one, everyone. Have a good night.